Hello everybody, my name is WIfies, and I hope you are all enjoying this late Sunday afternoon. Or is it Monday? I don't really know. Anyway, I think it's Sunday. This video is going to be my second entry for Mumbo Jumbo's Spooky Door contest. If you search it up, my video is actually at the top, and people are calling out for not being a good piston door. In all fairness, this one's not amazing either, but it's more redstone, less looks. But anyway, thank you so much for 1,000 views on that video. Let's get straight into this one, and I'll provide a tutorial, or the concept you'll need, right after I show you the build. Let's get right into it. Yeah, so here it is. This is our skeleton door. We do not need any of this. This is just, you know, to hide up the redstone and all that kind of thing. All I really need is 2 immovable objects. If you want to have walls, you will need 2 immovable objects right there. Other than that, the build is pretty cheap, and I kinda like it. Well, actually, it's not really that cheap. If you see, we actually have a whole bunch of redstone here, but the circuit is mainly in 2 parts. This massive circuit, actually 3 parts. This massive circuit, the little bottom purple circuit, and the connecting circuit, like this purple part right here, as opposed to that purple part down there. Anyway, if we hit this button, I think it has a nice skeleton, by the way. It's not that bad. I don't know how you can make a 3x3 skeleton. Hit this button, we can see the door opens up and then gets moved backwards up into the ceiling, and it is perfectly flush. We can walk through. There is no, like, nothing coming down. All good. And if we hit this button right behind us, perfect. We can hit it again, and we have to watch out. There we go, right on through. So I think the build is really quite nice. It isn't the fastest thing in the world, especially when it's opening. But there we go. That is my second entry. It is literally a 3x3x2, so it's 2 depth. So it's a bit harder than a normal 3x3 piston door, because that would be just cheap if it was only a 3x3 piston door with some cool designs. Anyway, we're going to move into the tutorial, and if you have watched up to this, then thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Tutorial time. So if you look at the door as its complete open state, we see that it's actually separated into really 2 parts. The sides part, auto jump, the side parts, and the top part. This is the tutorial for the side part because the top part is extremely complicated, and I'll tell you approximation of the blocks. I'm not going to go into a whole in-depth on how to build this thing. Like, I can show you around all the parts and explain how they work and everything. Except for the bottom part, I will tell you what you will need. For the top part, yeah, that's not going to be so fun. The bottom part, you will need 4 sticky pistons, 2 cauldrons, 64 redstone dusts. I don't know if that's the exact amount, just a lot of redstone. 5 repeaters, I think. 5 slime blocks, 2 black concrete, 664, as much as you want blocks of choice, 2 quartz stairs, 2 comparators, 2 water buckets, 2 redstone torches, 3 observers, 2 buttons, and 2 slabs. Once we have all of that, this is what it turns into. So let me go through all the parts instead of explaining how to build all this. And I won't give you resources for these. I'll just, it's like 4 sticky pistons, a whole ton of repeaters, dropper, hopper, some stuff, whatever. We're not doing that part now. We're doing this part. So right here we have the input. This part is simply straightforward. On the other side, again, we have the input. Again, straightforward. It just goes to the same location. This sticky piston right here is going to be, we're kind of cover that later. Ugh, doing so bad. Let's do this. So over here we have a T flip-flop on either side using our cauldrons, and this is a T flip-flop if you want to know how to build it. My cat is in the background. 2 sticky pistons, a cauldron, a comparator, a repeater, and that is that. We want to mimic it on this side as well. So out of here, this side, this is the right side. It's coming out and has an observer facing upwards into some blocks with redstone dust, activating this, which is 3 slime blocks, a black concrete, a stair, and a slab. That is this half of the machine all done. Not a big deal. The other half is slightly more complicated. All we have going on is our repeater coming out into a block with redstone dust on top, an observer each side. This observer goes upwards into the sticky piston, which is the same thing, and this observer goes into this little block, which basically is the middle bottom block of the skeleton. But that is the bottom half. Let's look at the top half. So we're in for a treat, the second part of the build. This part is, needless to say, much more complicated. Well, actually, it might be easier to understand what's going on. I definitely did not focus on compacting this thing because it could have been much nicer. Definitely much nicer. I could have just made this go one straight line outwards, but whatever, who cares? Anyway, let's look into what makes this thing work like it does. So first you have to understand what's really going on here. This is the main bulk of the machine. All it is a double piston extender, which is this 3x2 area right here, and this sticky piston added on for the ride by the slime blocks. If we hit this button, you can see that the I want to make sure it's not going to break anything. Yeah, I don't think so. If we hit this button, it gets double extended down right here, and if we hit this button again, it gets retracted. So that's all good, but here's the dilemma. When we want to close the door, we want the double piston extender to fire first and then this piston, and when we want to open the door, we want to make this piston fire first and then the double extender to retract it all. How do we do that? Probably there's a better way, but I'll teach you the simplest way I know to think about it. Falling and rising edge monostable circuits. Let me explain. This button is connected up to this, so right here. So when this is on, it will send a lever output. A lever output from this button, like it's always on, up through this signal all the way up here to right over here. It will turn this torch off, doing nothing, but more importantly, you will activate this monostable circuit with some delay acting as a button, and that will go into here. That will go into this output right here. This output right here will travel into this will travel into these two areas. This one with 4 ticks and this one with 1 tick. So when we turn it on to close the door, this will happen first, retracting the double opening the double extender, and then afterwards this 4 tick goes into a monostable circuit right here, which in turn goes down and powers this piston, which powers this block. This redstone does this piston, this observer, that block where the piston will turn out to be. So the double piston extender first, and then this whole part. I hope this is understandable. Anyway, on the other side, when we turn the button off again, actually, let's watch that in action. Let's just go ahead and turn this on right here. You can see the signal goes through here, and then it goes over there, sending a pulse out that will open it. Now what happens? When we turn it off again, the signal will turn off. This side will now be rendered useless. Nothing will happen because no pulse will go through because it's a rising edge monostable circuit, which looks like this. It just dust, sticky piston block, repeater. But this redstone torch will turn on. What that will do, it will send a signal to this dropper, making a block go into this hopper, giving us a monostable circuit. It will go out with some delay, and it will go into here. So after only 1 tick of delay, it will enter this circuit with a piston because we want this to retract first. And then it will enter with this much delay into the double piston extender. We can watch that happen without even pressing the button, but we will break the system. So instead, let's break it. You can see this gets pushed, it retracts, and then the double extender pulls it up. And all of that in unison produces the door. I hope this tutorial was somewhat understandable, but that is all I have for today. I hope you have enjoyed this. Enjoy your Sunday evening, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.